and then Relationship Mechanic with JJ from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. and the show that I just got, and I forgot. Excuse me, Kai, because I know you just text me. The Creative Alliance show, and that is 7 till 9 p.m. and they've got a very special guest in the studio today from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. So do apologise for that, Kai. And then from 9 till 11 p.m. we've got the Popcorn Show with Anthony. All right. So now I introduce to you, without further ado, the one and only. Well, let me tell you a little bit. Let me do a proper drum roll. I met this guy. I was doing a project at Battersea Arts Centre, and at that particular time when I was doing this project, some of you that's listened to the show before know I'm an artist myself, kind of a rounded artist, like do rap, dance, DJing, you know, all the creative stuff, and you know, people who know my background who've listened to the show. But when I actually did this particular project, I was busy trying to be, well, my other side is I work within residential care as an area manager, and I try not to mix the two. And this project that was at Battersea Arts Centre was actually about mixing the two together, making people become more creative in their personal and professional life. So I bucked up on this superstar. He doesn't want to be known as that, that's what I call him, right? This superstar, and he when I told him about some of the stuff that I had done, and the
legend.
Right, some stuff I've done. He said, "No, you got to include that stuff." So this is the one and only Mr. Conrad. Conrad, how you doing?
Yeah, good man. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Now, Conrad. Also, we've got another guest in the studio by the name of Cree.
Paul Cree. Yeah.
Paul Cree.
Beats Elements in the house. Beats Elements in the house.
Yeah. So first and foremost, tell us a little bit about you, Conrad, and how you managed to place yourself. Well, let's say, first of all, how did you get into hip hop? Because I know you're a hip hop exponent. How did you manage to get into the hip hop?
I mean, the first kind of, I think, I can't remember what was the first kind of stuff I heard. It was everyday people.
Oh, Arrested Development.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
That's not your first.
No, not first, but that's the first one I remember learning, like relearning, getting into. Do you know what I mean?
Really? Okay, cool. Cool. So you're talking about Wycliffe. That's
No, it's older than that. I can't remember who it was.
Arrested Development had Wycliffe in it.
Yeah,
Wycliffe, yeah. Wycliffe was in that group or whatever I forgot what they're called now. Food? No, it's not.
No, it was old.
No. I'm checking.
It was really old. It was really old. Actually.
Who's it by?
I can't remember, man. It was Arrested Development, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay.
But I mean, but Tupac was the first rapper that I really got into.
Okay.
Really got into. But I mean, I had heard Onyx and some mad shit as well, like
Slam.
Mad shit, like Out There Brothers. Remember?
Yeah.
Like I was always into extreme shit, so like Onyx, Out There Brothers, and then obviously when I heard Tupac, it was like, yo, this guy's swearing and going nuts.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about it. He was expressing himself in that way.
So in regards to the whole, what hip hop stands for, in regards to, you know, the DJing, the rap, the graffiti, the b-boying and all of that, did you embrace all of that, or did you kind of just embrace the music side of it?
I actually I liked all of the elements. I thought it was really cool, but I couldn't do them. Do you know what I mean? But I actually can dance. I can't break. But I can lock.
Go on, mate.
Wait, breaking. Actually, my first exposure to hip hop was breakdance, the film.
Excellent.
Breaking.
Excellent.
And that was old. I had it on VHS. Me and my brother watched it so much that the video turned from colour to black and white. Honestly.
Let me drop something to you, right? Let me drop something while we're talking about breakdance. 2 years ago, I interviewed Ozo.
Mate, that's it.
Right,
yeah,
and it was a bit weird because I was interviewing him and I was just like, I have watched that video like you so many times, even though it was by Skype and he was like in Los Angeles. It was just the night before we spoke for about 4 hours and I was going through each part of that film because I know you've watched that film
over and over again. My actually favourite part is the bit in the credits when he's actually moonwalking on the concrete.
Yes.
Because I'm like, how can you do that on concrete?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because before that, obviously I seen Michael Jackson, but then when I saw that film, which was kind of the same time, And Turbo taught Michael Jackson to moonwalk,
That's right.
And I remember thinking, this Michael Jackson's doing it in waxed up shoes on the stage. My man's doing it on the concrete.
Right.
And I knew that from time. Like, people now kind of know a bit of the history, but from a little kid, I knew Michael Jackson's cool, but Turbo is cooler. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so in regards to you, going back to when I was talking about your hip hop and you moved on. So what about UK people? What UK people have influenced you in regards to hip hop?
Well, I like Roots Maneuver. He's pretty cool. But I also like Asher D and kind of a lot of other.
Oh, the Soul Solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Swiss. I know. Big up Swiss. Yeah.
Because they kind of put a British stamp on it. Do you know what I mean? But I remember 57th Dynasty.
Yeah. Oh my God. Damn.
Yeah.
Brixton boys, my boys. I know them.
Yeah. So kind of a mixture, but mainly it was like going to live events. I went to a lot of live events because going back, you couldn't getting hold of recordings was hard.
Yeah.
Like I remember I had some mixtapes I listened to, but knowing who those artists were was pretty difficult. But actually going to open mics, going to showcases, open mic what was it called again? No, what was it called? Open mic UK. UK Unsigned.
UK Unsigned. With John.
He's a John, man. Shout out to John, man. He's a legend.
Listen,
man.
John was just Todd UK. The person before was just talking to John.
Oh, sick. Okay, he's a legend.
Yeah.
He started so many people's careers.
Absolutely.
Done loads of things. So props to people. Don't really know the history of like a lot of hip hop had to use other platforms to get on. I think really to see it. I mean, 57th Dynasty were quite massive for what they were. I mean, they were huge.
So, in regards to you working, so how did you manage to get into Battersea Arts Centre? Because that's kind of a little bit difficult. Because I remember, like I told you, I used to do a dance class at Battersea Arts Centre, in early 90s. And when I came there and I saw you doing your thing, you can describe what your thing is. I just thought, hold up a second, this guy is doing some real stuff. He isn't no nicey, just real, raw. And I was thinking, because I know it can be a bit from a mic's
yeah, bro.
a bit hoity-toity.
Yeah, it can, yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking, how did you manage to get into, so tell us about Battersea Arts Centre and how you managed to get in there.
Well, I did the youth fitter there.
Right.
But which was cool, but me, my brother Barry, my friend Tyrone and Junior, we would always be rapping, beatboxing in the theatre. And I think it was like, what these guys doing, they're nuts. They're messing around. But we weren't messing around. When it was like, make your pieces, it was like, that's what we do, innit?
Right.
Like, we're making this. This is how we... You want to do your little poems, we're rapping our shit. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it was like, yo, you lot making your little sounds over there and always getting in trouble. And the other guys in the class or wherever the thing kept complaining about us. But we weren't messing around. We were being serious.
Right.
So... You know, we never paid the fees or whatever, like, to get in. We couldn't afford. At the end of each session, it was like in front of the whole group, like Conrad, Tyrone, Junior, Barry. You haven't paid each time, and it was like, oh man, this is, you know, we liked it there, but like you said, it's a bit different. And then we were like, let's do our own thing. What if we just did our own theatre, but we were rapping,
right?
And we were bringing the raw stuff. So we asked for our own room. Well, props to BAC because they gave us our own space, and we started developing our own style.
Brilliant.
And we had dance in that as well. We had dance, rapping, beats and stuff. And we made a show. It was like we went to such a theatre, the White Bear Theatre, and was in the Guardian, the Metro. Okay. It was a big show. And then that's kind of from that movement, that element, that's how come I got involved in the Beatbox Academy. But that's how I got involved in BAC, was by kind of, you know, they're great, and they put out with me being an argumentative little shit. Do you know what I mean?
Who does the Beatbox Academy belong to?
It belongs to Battersea Arts Centre. It's called the Battersea Arts Centre Beatbox Academy, but I run it. Yeah.
Anyway,
but
who created the name?
BAC.
That's another subject. Anyway, but so in regards to that, so you know when you take that and have you done it? Do you just do it there? Or
no, we've gone around. Man, we've gone to Edinburgh Festival.
Wow.
We've gone to Gloucester Guildhall. Latitude. We've gone to Latitude.
Wow. So
we've gone around, and we were on the Gareth Malone show on the BBC.
I saw that actually.
Yeah.
I saw that. So you was on the BBC.
Yeah.
So how was that? Who was it? Was all your pupils as well?
Yeah. Some of them, because there's loads of them.
How many pupils do you have?
Around 40.
Excellent.
Around 40.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's Beatbox Academy, but obviously Beatbox part of hip hop, innit? So you can come and rap.
That's right.
You can come and do spoken word. You can sing. If people want to dance, just throw it all in.
Brilliant. Yeah, my daughter's coming soon. She came.
Yeah, sick. I saw that day.
Yeah. She's coming. She loved it. On Tuesday, she's got homework and stuff. So it's
all good, man.
So let's bring in Paul as well. So Paul, how you doing, Paul?
I'm very good, thank you.
So,
mate. Yeah.
So Paul, tell us a bit about yourself. What you're a rapper? No, you said you're a functional beatboxer. Explain what a functional beatboxer is.
Beatboxing means I can throw a few beats down and hold it together. So I work with Conrad in a theatre company we've got called Beats and Elements.
And he's worked at the Beatbox Academy as well.
Yeah, I've got worked on.
Is Beats and Elements belongs to who?
Us.
Me and Conrad.
Yeah, right, that's what I want to hear about, my friend. Ownership is important. Good. So Beats and Elements, because I was looking at the video today. So that belongs to you too.
Yeah.
Ownership is so important, people. Because I do another show where I talk about ownership, copyright. Making sure you got your stuff and pushing through your own name so you got ownership. So anyway, carry on. Good. I'm glad that you got it.
Yeah, so I met Con, I don't know, probably quite a few years ago now, again through Batsy Art Centre. So I was also doing the youth theatre. But I got into theatre quite late. So my background is as a rapper, MCing really, and then I've done a lot of spoken word stuff, and then I met Con and we were working together on a show. I kind of knew about Beatbox Academy, I knew who he was, and I could beatbox a little bit. And
we were a big movement already, do you know what I mean? People were hearing.
So when I started there at Batsy, one of the producers there, Liz, big up Liz, she was like, you've got to meet Conrad. The first show I did, they got me to beatbox in it.
Wicked.
But I don't know, they knew I rapped, so I just made that assumption, can you beatbox? I was like, well...
But you should, didn't it? In hip-hop, you should be able to give it all a go, isn't it?
Supposed to be able to do it all, man.
I can get away with it, I can do my bit, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then I met Con, we was on a show together, and I think I'd given you a mixtape that I'd done.
Yeah, first time I met you.
Yeah, I'd given him a mixtape.
You know, he just got a book released, right? His book just come out.
He's got a book?
Yeah, he's got a book come out, right? But the first time I met him...
No, wait, don't...
No, but I'm just saying, the first time I met him, he was shotting his mixtape to me in the street, do you know what I mean? But that's where rap can get you.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
So tell us about this book. You've got a book out now.
Yeah, it's just come out just like 2 weeks ago. It's called
Waterstones. Shout out to Waterstones. Shout out to Force.
Wicked, it's in Waterstones and Force.
Well, it's in there, yeah. So it's from a little publisher called Burning Eye, and they publish like performance poets or spoken word artists. I've done a lot of that over the years. So they specialise in, because there's a bit in that world. Seems to be a little bit of a conflict between those that go out and perform it and those that don't and sit home and get commissions to write things.
Yes,
right?
I know. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Big up Burning Eye. They specialise in publishing the performers, and I've been doing that for 10 years. So I had like a collection of stories and little poems and stuff and little raps that I've been performing now. So I put it all together into a book, and it's come out, and I've managed to sell a few, and yeah, it's going alright.
So in regards to your book now, what's your book called?
The Suburban.
The Suburban. And what will people find when they go into it? Why should people buy
it? It's funny in play. I don't know. I'm like same thing. You know, one of the things in regards to me and Colin, what we always bonded on, we always feel like I come from, I don't know, that sort of, I always say like that kind of background where I'm not going to get on Radio 4 talking about the things that I grew up around, right? And which is suburban, I suppose, but I don't know. So I'm putting that in there, and every time I've gone to perform, everyone always says to me, "You're so different." Like, really? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Even though I'm probably not, in terms of, I'm in a demographic that isn't, but at the same time, I'm talking about these just things that are real to me,
right?
And my environment around me, and I'm doing it using my own voice, my own slang, my own way of saying things.
Yeah.
And even though in 2018, that's still quite seemingly
radical, man.
Radical thing.
Still radical.
Right. So we bonded over that, you know. So when I met Con, I'd read a few books. Con had read about 100,000. Like, you know what I mean? And we talked about class issues, these kind of things, right?
Yeah.
So there's lots of stuff about that, you know, kind of sort of just working life, I guess. You know, right. I was out of education at 17 and I've worked a million different jobs, and yeah, but it's fun. There's a lot of heart in there. And there's a lot of humour in there. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stuff about family and just things that mean a lot to me. And seemingly when I've performed around the place over the last 10, 12 years, it's always gone down well. And I always get people come up to me and go, oh yeah, I really relate to that. So
suburban.
The suburban, yeah.
The suburban.
Yeah.
Right, you hear that, people? The suburban. We want people to go out and buy that. The suburban. It's in. What did you say it's in?
So you can get it in Foyles, Waterstones. I think it's on Amazon as well. But they've got some bait holding picture on there. They don't seem to update their database too much. But you can get it on there. Yeah. Or you can get it off me. If we're talking about ownership and stuff, I've got a certain amount of books. If you buy it off me, I'll get all the dough.
More money.
Where's the book?
paulcreed.co.uk.
I should have brought it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, wait, hold on. I've probably got it in my bag.
Come. How much is the book?
Tenner.
Right. I'm gonna buy it. Right. People hear that? I'm committed. I'm going to buy it. I haven't got £10, but I'm gonna buy it today. You're not.
He's got one of them card reader things as well, bro. You can pay by card. You can pay by card, bro.
Come with it.
Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
You got that now?
Yeah.
Bring it. I'll pay now. Come. Right. We're gonna do right. This is something that we keep saying, and just to let you know, right, Conrad. Right. One of the things that I do to empower people is about money and keeping the money within our group. So lots of people want to say they support British. Yeah. I'm behind my people, and then when people do events. The main thing I try and tell people to do is when they've got a product, stop the whole event and I say to everybody, buy it now. And I've done that so many times. That's why. So where's your card reader thing?
It's in here.
Yeah, come, bring out the card reader thing. This is the most important bit.
This is live transaction.
Yeah.
Let me hold on. I need to fire it up.
So let me describe it. It's got a picture of Paul. It's got pictures of houses. It's got Technics 1200 I can see. It's got a coach. It's nice. It's red. It's got a hat. Looks extremely colourful. Looks good. I'm buying it right now.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Right, let's fire.
And it's called The Suburban. Bourbon Eye. Let me read it. It says, Paul Cree is a poet, storyteller, rapper and theatre maker who has been performing regularly around the UK at venues and events such as Ronnie Scott's, Tate Britain, Battersea Arts Centre, Roundhouse, Camden Theatre, Latitude, Wilderness, and loads more, right? As well as having a work show showcased on BBC One Extra, and has written and performed two solo shows. A Tale from Bedsit 2013 and a C-D Borderline 2016, as well as co-written and performed in the critically acclaimed No Milk for the Foxes.
That was me and Colin's first show.
That was your okay.
Yeah, that was our first show, yeah.
He has an EP of stories entitled The 90s Sick EP, produced by Elaine Gray. We're not engaging with any of the above. Paul works regularly with young people and enjoys drinking mugs of tea while staring aimlessly out of a window, consuming pints of lager, and his mates. Brilliant. And then it says, Maria has originally performed in the theatre show A Tale from the Bedsit. And then I'm gonna.
There's a little quote from Conrad in there as well.
Which one's that?
I don't know, it should be on that page, in it, or maybe the next one. There's a little quote.
For 2000, is this what it says? For 9 o'clock is nowhere, and she says originally featured in Rhyming Thunder, the alternative book of young poets, Burning Night 2012.
Yeah, that was another book that has some stuff published in.
Right, so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to do the transaction right now.
Right.
Let's do this
I think we're ready to go.
Let's go, let's do this.
Right, so...
Live on air, man. Making purchases.
This
business happening.
Right.
This is the most important thing, because what happens, as far as I'm concerned, and I always say to people about this. Yeah.
Yo. What's happening, man?
Is it done?
Payment approved. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Gold card right here. Right, brilliant. So people, This is one of the things, some of the times that I have to tell people, you have to demonstrate what you are talking about. And I always keep saying, all of the young people I work with, whenever they do a product, I always make sure I buy it. If they do it cheap enough, sometimes I buy 5 or 6 of them. But we must be supporting each other's works. You mustn't have no friends that are not prepared to buy your book. Any friend that says, give me a copy, not a friend. They should be buying your book, coming supporting your products. I will be reading this today. Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Love that. Okay, so that's about Paul. Got his book, got that right here. And for all the presenters that are listening, I'm actually going to leave this copy. Right, let me get this correct, everybody. I bought the copy, because presenters are listening. I bought a copy of Paul Cree's book. I'm leaving it on the desk. No one take it home. It is actually mine. I haven't bought it for the station. It's mine. So I'm going to leave it here for people to read, and I'd like you guys to review his book. Also, just letting you know, my daughter, she does a book review show every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So she will be...
Yes, that's it.
She's only 11. So Marie's my older sister. Misha, you're going to get this book, you're going to read it, and you're going to review it. Okay, so let's carry on now. So, Conrad, what is in the pipeline? Because I understand you've got a big show coming up. I heard from the grapevine. Tell us about this show that you've got coming up.
Oh, yeah, it's on at Camden People's Theatre next Thursday and Friday. It's called High Rise, A State of Mind.
High
Rise, A State of Mind.
Where did that name come from?
Where? It was a mixture of ideas, isn't it? A mixture of ideas. I mean, A State of Mind is a line from another show that I wrote.
Right. So you connected it, okay.
And it's about kind of, I've lived on 5 different estates. And it's the idea that, like, even though now we moved off into a council house, but even once you leave an estate, you still understand that state of mind, innit?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I totally get what you mean, because I was actually, funny enough, I was brought up on an estate as well, and when we bought our house, we had a chance, well, not a chance, but I had a choice of living on an estate or buying a house and not on an estate. And to be honest, I actually went for not living on the estate for obvious reasons. But sometimes, but sometimes, obviously not, because I know other people that want to keep it real and they want to say they want to stay. Yeah. And it was, the Roehampton estate.
Yeah, it's a big estate, isn't it?
To live on there.
That's
right.
Alton estate.
Oh, right.
Big, bro.
So that's where I was going to buy my estate. That's where I was going to buy my house. So I worked in Alton estate on for God, how long did I work there? For about 9-10 years.
I've done workshops on there, beatbox workshops on that
with
estate.
Mary then.
I can't remember that.
Yes,
Mary.
Mary.
I forget people, but
Mary and Houdini, Carl, and all of them guys down there. So I used to work at the Connection Centre, so I used to go to both of them.
Oh, there's one just there, innit, on the estate.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we did a little careers thing in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I must probably years there then. Okay. So in regards to your show, where is it? How much does it cost to get in?
Cool. It's on Warren Street at Camden People's Theatre. So Warren Street's the nearest station.
Warren Street.
Yeah, Warren
Street. So you're talking West End.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and it's £8 to get in.
Excellent.
£8
Good price.
to get in. Good
price.
And it's kind of set in an alternate reality. In the show, everyone lives in a high rise, but the people at top of society live at the top, and the lower class live at the bottom.
Ah, brilliant.
And it's about how one class fucks us all up.
Right.
Even the people at the top fucks them up because they're impotent and redundant, can't do shit for themselves.
Right.
And the people at the bottom got so much hope, so much aspirations, everything to give, but it crushes them. And it's just kind of it's an exploration into those ideas. And we have a little bit of our own real lives in there as well, so we kind of talk about our own experiences. Okay,
so in regards to how did you get to write this? So you've obviously studied. Did you study arts and drama? Are you? I had a social worker, and she shout out to social workers. For real. Yeah. Mad props, because it just don't go on a tangent. But when you hear about social workers, it's always bad things, isn't it? That's right.
And on TV and the East Enders, they want to demonise people that work with young people in the community. They give their life over to community work. Why'd you do that? Do you know what I mean? How many times do you see a positive story about a social worker? Never. But yeah,
I work
most
with
of
social workers every day. Yeah, every day.
and they mean well, man. It's a tough job. It's a tough job dealing with little shits like me. Do you know what I mean?
Toughest.
But it's tough.
Especially now as well.
It's tough.
Yeah.
All the cuts and whatnot going on.
Oh, the
Hard
cuts.
times.
But my social worker told me about the Brit School, and obviously
Right.
I'd never heard of anything like that because I had no connection to that world, education or arts. And basically, she got me in a form. She told me to go for it, and I got into the Brit School.
Brilliant.
And that's kind of like my way in. And I was always in trouble and stuff. And it's a bit different, but that kind of allowed me to see a different world. And I'm not going to say I was totally changed straight away. Do you know what I mean? Still afterwards, it took a while, but that was my kind of first foray into that.
Okay, what did you I don't know what qualification did you get from there? Did you?
None. I didn't get anything.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I got none.
What do you mean then? You went to the.
I failed everything.
Is
yeah,
it?
yeah, I failed everything. Yeah. I didn't get shit. Well, I got is an F? Is that that's not a pass? I mean, A to C is a pass. I mean, I got I got a master's in performing arts, right? And I just directed a show that got 5 stars in it, 5 stars in the stage in the Guardian, it was in the Observer, sorry. But when I got an F in drama. Do you know what I mean?
So you got a master's in performance arts.
I got a master's, yeah, Goldsmiths.
Brilliant. Well, you see, the thing about it is that we'll just touch on that a little bit because obviously there's people in this field of entertainment that you don't need qualifications.
No, you don't.
To push through. You don't need to. But it helps.
What I say is like this, right? I left school with no qualifications, and I was a bus conductor for a couple of years, right? I had no qualification, no shit. But the thing is, if you're from a working class background and you've got no qualifications, they treat you like shit. And I've experienced this firsthand. But when people say you don't need qualifications, actually, if you're from a middle class background, of course you don't.
Right.
Because you went to, I know people that went to certain private schools, failed their grades, but still went to work on for major banks and the BBC and whatever. But remember, they failed. They're the fuck up. The fuck ups get the jobs we dream about.
Right.
Those pieces of paper, yeah, those degrees, yeah, they are worthless pieces of paper. But unfortunately, when we get in those places, they actually mean something to us. So we'll go to organisations and I meet middle class people espousing all this shit about these qualifications don't mean anything, doesn't mean anything. It's easy for you to say.
That's right.
But when you're chatting shit in my face, I don't bring up my qualifications, but when you talk to me like a dickhead, then I can say, you know what, I got 3 degrees. That's what have you got in this field? You haven't got none. And I do think qualifications mean shit, but if you're from a working class background, unfortunately, they can be the only defence that we have to prove ourselves.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right. What do you think about this, Paul? What do you think?
He ain't
Yeah,
got
I agree.
He ain't got nothing.
I've got nothing either. I found my way into it just through by kind of off chance, really, and sort of changed my life. But I always have that feeling in the back of my mind that I do what do you call it, imposter syndrome. That at some point someone's going to turn around to me and go, "Come on, where is it? Where's the piece of paper? Yeah, got it right. See you later. Goodbye." Do you know what I mean? It's I don't know, but listen, I've been, we're talking specifically about theatre now, which is really how I know Con. I've been doing this for 8-9 years now, and I'm still there, and I've got no qualification, and I've been able to do, fortunately, a whole bunch of things. My CV looks alright. Me and Con are onto our 2nd show now as a company. So, I've done alright.
Well, listen, all I will say to you, and this is what I say to all my people, is all about ownership. When you own something, you don't need no qualification. I always say this. Yeah. It's when you own it. It's when you go through someone or you try and get some funding for something and someone has put you through. That's when one day they turn around and they want to get you and they go, let's look in his qualification. Let's look in his history. Let's look in that. But when you own it, they can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're not going to be able to do nothing. No one is ever going to come to you and say that, because when they do, you just tell them none of your business. You just say up yours. Don't worry about what I've got. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, even then, now, we've already had a show, 2015. We've got loads of reviews for it.
Exactly.
So, well, there you go. I've done it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mate, we made a show from just like beatboxing and improv. To make that show, we were just spitting bars for hours. You know what I mean? Yeah. From that, we ended up getting in the bloody Guardian and the stage. So I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean?
So in regards to your show,
right,
so it's £8 to get in. So what? It's on Warren Street. What's the name of the theatre again?
Camden People's Theatre.
Camden's People Theatre. So what time does it start?
7:15.
7:15. And what can people expect? And what can people expect when they get to your show?
Some beatboxing, rapping. We got looping, singing, and you know, a real you know, hopefully a new form that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to create, is something a bit different to everything else. I mean, you know,
something that'll make you think a little bit afterwards when you leave the show.
And also just be entertained. Yeah. Some really funny parts in there.
Is there?
And there's also some high drama in there.
How many people's in the show? Is just you two?
Oh, no, it's us two. We got a rapper, Gambit Ace. So we've got no rapper in the show, and we got a spoken word artist who's also spitting in the show, Lakeisha Lynn Stevens.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically it's a show of like a beatboxer, straight rapper, a rapper, spoken word artist, a rapper, and a spoken word artist, which is sick. We're not, you know, just straight theatre makers or actors.
Right.
I mean, we're like real people that are using that shit to tell us stories.
Right. Hear ya. So, in regards to your future projects, what are you looking to do ultimately? What would be an ultimate? What's that?
I think they're doing some work downstairs.
Oh. So, I thought someone knocking for us. Yeah. So, what would be an ultimate show? What's okay? So, like, say 5 years time, what do you plan to be doing? Is it still shows, or have you got a destination? What is the?
You know, I would still like to be doing shows, right, in theatre. But maybe it'd be great to go to bigger venues. You know,
right.
But still, CBT is a groundbreaking place. So I'm on the board there.
Brilliant.
So I still
CBT?
CPT. Yeah, can people still bigger? Okay. But you know, it'd be great to go to bigger venues, and also around the country. It'd be great to go onto council estates. It'd be great to go to different alternative venues. But you know, it would also be great to go, you know, to the Barbican. You know, it'd be great because we've developed some of the show at the Barbican.
Brilliant.
But it'd be good to go on their main space. It'd be good to tour the country. But you know, who knows? I mean, you know, West End transfer. Who knows?
Absolutely. So
Wembley.
Wembley. Yeah. Why not? If you have the aim, why not? So, in regards to now your show that you're doing, could you now give the listeners a little sample of what they're gonna hear, like maybe some beatboxing, some rapping?
Yeah. Let's. Oh, you want to do what floor?
Yeah, how do you want to do it? All right.
Now, hold on, let me introduce it. Wait a sec, right. So, people, just to let you know, this is Colin McDonald. This is just in case I have to edit it and just use this bit. This is Colin McDonald, EachTeach Radio, about to introduce you to the one and only Conrad and Paul Cree, who are from Beats and Element Academy, and also, what's the other academy?
Beatbox Academy, yeah.
Beatbox Academy, and they're going to tear it up.
What floor are we on? How do we get up? And does God know that we? What floor are we on? How do we get up? And does God know that we?
Here's a question. How did we get here? I dare you, double dare you. The truth is out there. But designer top bought from a posh boutique in Mayfair, probably decent from a sweatshop or asbestos plagues the air. That plan and application for that extension of your abode. Did you approach your neighbour's territory in advancement of your own? How did you get here? How did you get there? Did you play fair or with the roots? Or was it K9 eating K9 and was left with on to go abroad? How did we get here? How did you get there? How did you play fair or with the roots? Or was it K9 eating K9 and was left with on to go abroad? Did you tell yourself you deserved it? Did you tell yourself you were worth it? Did you tell yourself you're a self-made success and help is worthless? Only worthy of the shirkers, twitching curtains all nervous, cause the neighbours look straight out the surface. These thugs, rapists and murderers. Everything you got, you earned it. Worked for it, worked harder than hard, stressed hard, triple bypass, and now time's passed. And you might ask, how did we get here? With the nice clothes and all the best gear. What lurks in the shadow with the rear view, what you left behind for that big career? How did we get here?
What floor are we on? How do we get up? And does God know that we tired of the rain, tired of the pain, tired of having to explain that even though we complain, still there's no change. Tired of the wars, tired of the postcodes, tired of the same color doors. I'm tired of all the flaws, the rubbish stuck in the chute. It's like a metaphor for the youth. Summer's over, few people make it onto the roof, living in close quarters, whether we like it or not. The zeitgeist of the heights, seen through the whites of the eyes of the kids. What's the cost of architectural holocaust, habitat of the lost cause? Maybe we deserve to traverse these perverse paths. It's a joke, but somehow we're all missing the last. What floor are we on? How do we get off? And does God know that we
Woo!
So
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yay!
Bad.
It's fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it was
Bad. That's right. That's it. You know what? I didn't know you could sing like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm a bit speechless, people, because I've seen him and we performed together, and you never told me you could sing. I thought you was a functional singer.
Oh yeah, no, singer, rapper.
You want him to do the low notes as well. His Con's range is, I don't know if you've got all the frequencies covered.
Oh. No, that is really, really, really tight. That's tight. So is that a song from the show?
That's a song from the show, yeah.
Okay, tell us a bit about that particular song. You said, what floor were you on? Is that kind of like the conjecture that you're talking about in regards to the people who are rich being on the top and people being on
it's
the
like a
bottom?
double meaning. It's like a part of the story we're setting up in the show in the different floors. But also, again, it's also like us as people, like, you know, what floor are we on right now? And how do we get off? You know what I mean? Yeah, I can hear me again.
Is it? Yeah. Was it recording that?
Oh, no, do you know, I was listening to the radio from my phone. Yeah, people just heard you just singing just then. That's the show.
Sick.
It's 30-40 second delay. Yeah, so go on, carry on. So yeah.
So it's kind of like the high rise in the story, but also just in life, like what floor we're on, innit? And can we get off, please? You know what I mean? And does anyone know that we're here? Is kind of in the show, is a meaning in the show? Does anyone know? But also, you know, is anyone actually seeing what we're going through, as people, as in the separate classes? You know, does anyone even realise what the hell's going on here?
So you know, have you heard of the organisation, which I've been talking a bit about them, but have you heard of the organisation Gang?
No. Actually, I think you might have mentioned them to me.
Gang. Have you heard of them? Guys in a New Generation.
Yeah, do you know what? I was
Right.
watching a video.
What's the Facebook Live?
No, do you know what? It was up in Tottenham. They do a lot of activism
That's
stuff.
right.
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 So I was watching a video. I guess they were in the area where there was that shooting a couple of weeks
That's
back.
right.
I'm aware of them.
That's right. Because you see, what they're doing at the moment, there was a meeting last week, Wednesday, in the town hall with Sadiq Khan, and they asked for all the community leaders to come down and talk about what they thought about knife crime and exactly what's happening with knife crime and all that kind of stuff, right? And it was very, 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 very interesting. And what happened was they had Gang there, the organisation guiding the new generation, and just in regards to what you guys are hitting and the topics you're talking about seems very similar. But I think what needs to happen is people need to more link up with different organisations. So, but yeah, are you doing any stuff around knife crime or anything like that?
No, not exactly. It's more about kind of, I mean, when we talk about lack of opportunity, to me that's also about knife crime, and violence, because lack of opportunity is a problem.
Absolutely.
And we talk about people not seeing kind of what we're going through and about any guidance. Also, that's also linked to knife crime, because if we're not getting any guidance, if people don't know we're here, if they're not understanding what it's like to kind of live in a time where we don't know where our money's coming from, for some people where their food's coming from in this country, then that's all linked to violence, because what's the point of it all, really? That's why the line is, it's got to just know does God know that we're here? Because what's the point of all of them really? If you don't even know that we're here, if you don't even give a fuck, then fuck it, innit? Let's go nuts.
You see, the reason why I asked that, and because I was working in youth club squad from the 80s all the way up to about 2010 when I stopped working in Roehampton. So I was working 20, 30 years strong, and when I see lots of people trying to address this whole issue, it always makes me cringe sometimes, because what they're doing, and I love what they're doing, but to me, projects like what you guys are doing are much more tangible and much more. It's going to be more. It will able to help divert the young people more by giving them a tangible, music, dance, rap, English, poetry, whatever it is, even if it's business, get them focused in that. But just to go around saying to the young people, put down the knives, put down the thing, it's nowhere near enough. Because when I was young, I got into terrible, I've been stabbed twice and I've done certain things and I was in a gang, and the only thing that got me out of it was about 17, properly out of it, when I was doing my dancing. I got a chance to go to another country. And they was like, no, because you've been involved in...
Tell them stories, man. Tell them stories. Tell that story.
I was involved in certain things with certain of my friends, and they said, you won't able to leave the country. Yeah. From that, about 2 weeks later, there was some hassles that happened, and people called me up and said, but we're going to have to go and deal with these people and all that. And I remember having the choice of going to another country or going and repping from boys. And I chose my dance and all that. So if you give the young people the actual attributes to have that concrete thinking about the choices. So we have to have more beatbox academies, more dance clubs, the youth services. All of this just walking out there telling the young people to put down the knife. It's not going to work.
Why is that going to engage them?
Exactly.
You know what? I was still doing the madness, like just stupid shit, like smashing up people's shit, trying to do fights, mad shit anyway, stealing anyway. Yeah. But the thing that stopped me doing that shit, I'd have been on anything, to be honest. I'd have been on doing anything. Was someone saying to me that I was good, that you should keep going.
Right.
That you're a good performer. And I think that at Batsy Arts Centre, to be honest, it was someone called...
You are a good performer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But it was someone saying to me, when I wanted to do my merging kind of like hip-hop and with theatre and stuff, and someone saying, take this seriously, you little shit, made me think, someone actually cares about me. And actually also telling me off also made me think, you actually really care.
And the thing about that bit right there, because I was talking to someone that's a manager of a children's home today, and they had a situation with some youths in there, and I had to go in there and speak to them. And one of the things was, some of the boys were big, and I went in there and I had to listen, and I just sat in front of them and I said, listen, let me tell you something. And it was like, what would you have done? And I said, let me tell you something, right? And I sat with them and I was real with them. I said, I love my young people that I work with, but I tell you something, no young person has ever beat me up, ever. And I said, I'm allowed to defend myself. I do Wing Chun, I do boxing. And if I was here last night, any of you would have come to me with that shit, I would have just defended myself. I would have tried not to, and they just looked at me, they looked at each other, and they said, no, real talk. And the lady after us, but what happened was, let me tell you the conclusion of what happened last night. The staff members locked themselves in a room. Now, you see the telling off thing, you have to have the confidence to be able to challenge the young people, because if you lock yourself in the room or you don't deal with the situation, the young people don't respect you. And number two, they don't feel safe around you.
Not so true.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So true.
So I would say that bit that you said there about telling them off is really
It helped
important.
me, man, because I noticed that if people didn't tell me what to do or give me boundaries, I'd take the piss, innit?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would maybe steal something or take extra.
Yes.
Or I'll be really late, or I'll be mouthy. The people that told me off, it's like, you really care about me.
Exactly.
You care about me enough to give me boundaries.
Exactly.
And I wasn't thinking about it in that way, but I remember my response was better.
Yes,
to the people that told me off.
Of course.
And I think I know that although it was Sarah who had a right go at me, I remember thinking, why do I like male teachers more than female? And it was because they were much more stern.
Right.
And I think that was definitely something. And just tell them off, man. Give me a look. If I'd have given, just give me a look.
Yeah.
Would have been. I'd have been better. I appreciated it though. I appreciated it a lot.
All the young people I work with, all the way through my life, I've never said that I would give them a. But.
No, I'm a teacher. I wouldn't do that.
But indirectly, I do tell them that because I always told them that I will defend myself.
Yeah.
And I always told them that I box, and I always told them I do Wing Chun. So I always let them know, any of you, ever I come, even to this day, if any of them are ever listening, they all know, all the boys that do the world record, Musa, Isa Shah, all of them, they're big boys now, they're like 24, but when I was first working with them, they was all 15.
Yeah.
And I always used to say to them, sir, if we was all in the room now, we could all rush you in it. I said, no, you couldn't, because I would defend myself. It was like, against all of us. I was like, yeah, trust me. And one day I took off my jacket, I said, go for it. And they was all there, but they was jesting. They were seeing. And now that they know, even if they maybe could take this, they would get hurt. So, anyway, we divert. So, tell us about the techniques of beatboxing. This was what I want to get to. The techniques.
Well, we've got foundation sounds that we teach. That we start off boom, T, cla, and you practice that. Boom, T, cla.
Teach me. Boom,
T.
Hold on, let me do.
Boom.
Let
So
me
first
do.
you say boom. First you say it.
I'll do some beatbox.
Go for it.
And you both tell me how good I am.
I'll go for it.
Now, just be real with me, right?
Let's jump in, man.
Colin McDonald, EachTeach Radio back to. No, don't do that. I can't do that. That sounds so rap. Right, here's my beatbox, right?
Okay. Again. Thinking the city, I see a list of things unjust. There's so much gold right next to the rust. Through my fitted cap, I can see a map of inequality and austerity right next to prosperity. See the way power changes people and people's lives. Truth become lies. Open up your London eyes. So much rhetoric coming from their mouths. We could refuse to listen. Leave it to the scientists and the politicians. Is it graceful to lose? Is something hateful wins? We're dimming the sun just to save us. Can keep looking up. Yo. Yo.
That was my beatbox.
It was sick, man. Everyone's got a different voice, innit? And it was to me, it was tight. The timing was tight. Mate, if you can throw down a beat and someone can dance to it or rap to it, you know how it is. That's beatbox, isn't it?
You got a fat kick as well. Fat kick drum. Yeah, big kick drum.
Okay.
That was sick, man.
But let me tell you about my experience. Like, we're going back in those school. There's a guy, I don't know if you remember him. His name is Yankee. Do you know Yankee?
I recognise the name. Don't know.
Okay, so even though bit of history, there was two people that I remember. 1982 were the first people I ever saw in the UK that were beatboxing. One was Sipo. Heard of Sipo?
I have, yeah.
Sipo was in London Posse.
Yeah,
Rodney P. So Rodney P, Bionic, and Sipo.
Bionic,
They was managed by Tim Westwood.
Right.
Mm. So Sipo was the first. What they say, Sipo was the first ever beatboxer, but Sipo wasn't the first because he was taught by Yankee. So it was Yankee and Sipo, and they were called bass and treble. And Yankee used to do the bass, and he used to do the treble. And this was back then. God, 1982, 83, and they made a record called My Beatbox Style and all that kind of stuff. So I remember it from those days. And then you had all this kind of... Then you had all of that. And I remember when that came in, people were like, oh my God, how can you make the noise? And after that, it just went... And all those sound effects. So tell us about these sound effects now, because... the one thing I want to say, remember have you seen the battle between the girl and the dad?
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, that's sick.
That always makes me laugh because that reminds me of what would happen to me and my daughter, because when I first saw the challenge and the dad went first and I was watching the dad, I was thinking, tight, that's me. I was thinking, I'm not as good as the dad, but I was thinking I could kind of do that. So when the daughter came in and absolutely obliterated him, it's just like, well,
yeah.
What is that style that she's doing? Is that a particular style, or she just made that up?
No, it's just she's practiced a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like the whole being able to hum and do different sounds at the same time.
Right.
And I think that the breathing would have improved a lot.
Right.
And it's just like practice. I mean, some of those sounds, if you keep practicing, you feel like you're going to pass out.
Really?
Yeah.
I think what's quite interesting, particularly about that video, it highlights something to me. Now, they're both really good in that video, but something that I know Con does really well at the academy is because it's got a bit of a name now. You're gonna get young people coming that are already quite good. They've already mastered a lot of these crazy kind of like mid sounds, and they can do all sorts of bassline madness.
Right.
However, what Con will do with them and what is getting that tightness.
Yeah.
If you ask them to hold a very simple beat like a they can't do it. They can't hold it. They can't hold the time.
Yeah.
So you go right back to the foundation, which is probably what you've got and what the dad's got in that video. Is you can do really what you need to do. Right, you've got the beat and you can hold the beat. Kids can come in and do all sorts of and all this stuff.
The timing's usually terrible.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
That's. I'm so glad you pointed that out, because if it would have been a battle about timing, he would have won. But because her sounds were so incredible that the dad never really didn't really have a chance, because that was all. Because you know the funny thing about that is dancing is exactly the same, because you get the people that can do long head spins, but can you keep a beat?
Let me tell you something. I love breakdancing, right? But what I can't stand is when people break off beat. I'm like whack. People are like, oh, they did this and that. I don't give a shit. If it's off beat, it's not dancing. If it's off beat, it's gymnasts.
Absolutely.
It has to be on beat. So if there's two beatboxers battling, if one of them goes out of time, I immediately think, oh, I flopped it. Shit. I don't care. They arrange the sounds,
Really?
but it's not music. That's a personal thing, because people know. Oh yeah, he's into timing, because really it's
at
not
the end. It will all come back to it. Will all. So you're saying that's your personal thing.
Yeah.
But at one stage in 1995, 96, 97, what ruled was because you got the commercial people that came in, started judging the competitions, and all the people that was doing the long head spins and continuous flares were winning all the competitions. But soon as everyone started really delving a bit more deeper, in the end, everyone was like rhythmical. Keeping the beat, interpreting the music, stopping at the right time. Now that's gone back to the dance. So most probably it's going to be the same thing with beatbox, because I know that when I first heard beatbox, I just thought those sounds just sound amazing. But now you're telling me that but it's got to be on beat, and I'm like thinking,
people do mad sounds and they go off beat.
Right.
And I'm like, what's the point then? Because you can't collaborate. A lot of good beatboxers, I'm like, let's say an orchestra gets some content, because people content all the time, they want beatboxers for certain things. And it's like, well, I can't be this person, can't be that person. I'm like, yeah, but that person's amazing. It's like, but they can't keep time. So how can they collaborate? I've got to pick the person that keeps time.
Right.
And a solid time, to me, it's kind of like one of those cards, in it, where you get like, them power trading cards with all the different elements, energy, speed. With beatboxing, it's exactly the same thing. And actually, if you've got no time, then you're losing a lot of points there, because you can't collaborate. In the pure sport of battling, people might rate just your time, your sounds. But as a beatboxer, how are you going to compliment a breaker, a dancer,
Absolutely.
if you can't keep time? And if you say you don't care about that, you're not understanding the source and where it comes from, and that matters. And it will show up in your career, because you're not going to be very flexible in the different things that you can do.
I think if a rapper or an MC could do all sorts of mad lyrical acrobatics, but you can't do it on beat, you're gonna get. You're going to get criticised heavily, right? You're not going to...
You're going to be Roscoe P. Coldchain. The different about that rapper, but he was out of time all the time.
Well, like Nas on that track we were talking about the other day, where he does the double time.
Oh, yeah. No, don't even talk about that track. Don't even talk about that. No, Nas is sick, but he tried to do double time one time, and it was
terrible.
It was terrible, yeah.
On the I Am album, that one.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so...
bro, is there a toilet in here?
Yeah, right. It's there. It's right there.
Yeah.
Go.
Cool.
Right there.
Sorry,
right, we're gonna go. In fact, that's a good time. We're gonna go for actually the toilet break. We're gonna play a tune. Actually. What tune am I gonna play? Let's play. Where is my? I want my. Right, yeah, we're going to play, because he's coming up very soon, we're just going to play another Mr. Roots Maneuver. I'm playing all his old stuff as well. Check this one out.
Joe, it's nice. Me and the other guy we're doing the show with.
Where is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
I got me on the camera.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the thing, because I can tell you something. Do you know the boy that he was with when he got stabbed?
No.
See, that's the bit that people don't really know. What's his name? Something Brooke, who's going to be elected for mayor in Lewisham.
Oh yeah. Mad.
Mark Brooke.
Mad too.
Colin McDonald, EachTeach Radio. Oh, yeah. Colin McDonald, EachTeach Radio, www.eachteachradio.co.uk and eachteachradio.com. We're back and we've been interviewing the one and only Mr. Conrad and also Paul Cree. And just to update you, we've bought his book, which has been really, 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 really interesting. Yeah, so we've been really interested about that. The book is called Suburban by Paul Cree. You can get it in bookshops, and I bought that live on air. That is just going into the ethos of the whole EachTeach. Remember, one of the things, the motto about EachTeach is, if we're saying that we want to back people, we want to support each other, then when someone is doing a business or someone is having a product, let's please make sure we are promoting that. Remember last week we was at MC Fonzie's gig. We was broadcasting that live. That was down in Hoxton. That's it. So he's got a record. He's doing a record show tour. So he's produced his album and he's going out there. So we went with him, broadcast that live for him, and we made sure we bought products that's in the studio. And now today we've got Suburban, and that's by Paul Cree, and I made sure I bought that live on there just now. So anyway, back to Conrad, kind of rounding up the show.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit more. So I just want to carry on a little bit more about the actual art of beatboxing and some of the techniques. Because before you went, we was talking about tell us about the techniques. Actually, I don't even know what the techniques are. I only know about bass and treble with hi-hat. I don't know about the other things, like, you know.
I mean,
go on.
You can breathe in. I think a lot of times people, I think originally people were always breathing out in it.
Yeah.
But I think like breathing in is a lot of the sound as well. All the bass, there's crazy bass lines and sounds are in.
I didn't even know that. So you go.
And my snares in as well.
Do the breathing first.
I'm breathing in.
Really?
I'm breathing in, yeah. So a lot of the complicated sounds are breathing in.
You're going for too fast. When you just did that, you're breathing in. What do you mean? Because
I'm breathing in. So there's a snare. I'm breathing in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also, that's what helps keeping the circular breathing going because obviously I'm on the kicks. I'm breathing out. and when I'm doing the snare, I'm breathing in.
Oh, got it. I do know saying. I've been beatboxing for most probably 30 years plus, and I never knew that. I always thought of it as always breathing out.
Yeah, because you don't run out. Because my problem isn't running out of breath; it's taking too much breath in, and then thinking about ways to get rid of it.
Right. Excellent. So that's the techniques.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you. So when people come to your beatbox academy, you teach them about those particular kind of techniques.
Breathing is one.
Is it similar to singing? Is it similar to singing?
Very similar to singing. Very similar because it's all from the diaphragm, and it's all about circular breathing in and out. And it will help your singing as well. So, in regards to now, when you're talking about this, I saw it online. There's this beatbox championships. Yeah.
Are you involved in that?
Kind of. That's hosted at the Battersea Arts Centre.
So, who's the judges?
The judges will be, and they haven't been announced. The judges will be usually their celebrity, like known beatboxers.
Okay. So
see, if I was to run it, I would change that. Right. I would say that there should be a director, or I would rather be one of the judges or someone like me to judge timing. Right. Because what they call musicality is very different to what I would call musicality.
Right.
Crazy ass sounds or weak singing with beatboxing. You can't say we did two things at once. If the singing's weak, then it's weak.
Right.
It's crap.
Right.
But everyone's got their own way of doing it, innit? And they're not, the beatbox championships isn't the beatbox community. To me, that's a part of. That's their brand of it, innit? But you don't run things.
Right.
They're a massive thing, and I'm friends with all these people, so it's no beef. You know what I mean? I love them, and it's all good. But I just see things a little bit different. But that's because I'm coming from a more of a performance perspective, and the whole wider thing of beatboxing comes from hip hop, which has to collaborate with dancers,
right?
Which has to collaborate with other people.
Their
thing is solo.
Right.
So it's all about me. So that's why it's taken the form that it has.
How many competitions are there?
Around the country?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
so you only know of that one?
That's the mainstream
one. I think it's online first, right? So there's an online thing, as far as I know, and then it goes to like a regional. So I know the.
But that's that same brand.
Yeah, but how many different competitions are there? Not that.
Oh, I don't know.
Nothing at that level. Nothing at that level.
So there's only one.
Yeah, but back in the day, a few years ago, the prizes were like a brand new Vauxhall, bro. My mate won 2 brand new cars.
Lie.
Serious.
He won 2 cars.
Yeah, well, he won year after year.
Wow.
That was the prizes, bro. That was the prizes.
Wow, interesting. So there isn't no competition then. Huh? Interesting, because in the b-boying there is roughly big competitions like with over 10 grand, 15 grand. There's most probably about 50.
Oh, yeah. In this country? In this country?
No. Just,
okay, so
no.
there are like international ones as well.
Right.
There are international ones.
Just in this country, I reckon there's about 7 in this country. Big.
That's quite a lot.
I think with the big box champs now, the way I see it anyway, it's probably an equivalent of UK wise anyway, what the DMCs were.
Right.
Probably 15 years ago.
Right.
Like the UK one, because I know DMCs was like, they used to do the world ones here as well.
Yes, that's right. Pogo, shout out to Pogo who won 97. Please don't kill me if I get it wrong. 97 he won.
But if you watch the beatbox championships, I think the thing on the judging is they favour only one style of beatbox, which is electro and techno. And if you look at the demographic of all the big beatboxers, you're gonna see that they favour one style.
And that's going to be fun, isn't it? Because
they're the ones making the money.
And you can imagine now. So this is where it gets quite interesting, because if you think of beatbox where it come from, it really it can be argued that it came from hip hop.
It does.
But obviously, if someone's going on there and do a big competition and all they ever do is techno, it's a bit left field. But I suppose beatbox is beatbox, isn't it?
Yeah.
We were at the championships year before last. It was wicked. Big up Dansu, because I think he's involved. Lyrics Organics, they run the championships. But we was at. It's a really good night out, right?
Yeah,
it's really
a great night.
When is the next one?
It's in November. It's around the 26th for a whole weekend. There's a whole weekend.
Beatbox.
At Battersea or something.
I'm gonna definitely make sure
you should come.
Definitely come.
Oh, wait, you should come. You should come to see our show actually next week as well.
I'm coming to the show.
Yeah.
No. I'm buying my ticket.
Cool.
No. This is the thing, right? It's I preach this to all my.
Okay.
When someone's doing the show here or anything, all the presenters must pay by. There's none of this getting no free ticket. Forget all of that. That's ego and all of that. I'm not paying. I'm a celebrity. No, let's put my.
I really respect that.
No, it's important. I say that to all my artists everywhere. Let's support, because sometimes I've got 20 something presenters on here, and if all of them bought for ticket, we could sell out your thing. Whereas what could happen is all my presenters go, oh, because we're on the station, we want a free ticket. Yeah. Before you know it, you ain't made no money.
Your night's done.
And do you know what? I think it all comes back full circle as well, right? You invest in someone, eventually that's going to come back to you in one way, shape.
Exactly. Because then if I did something and I told you not to come and pay, and I said £5, you'd not be like, yeah, Colin, support my thing.
I'm done.
This is where I think a lot of people go.
You know, as a station, can you get some freebies like for yourself, festival tickets and that? Probably could, you know.
Most probably.
You probably could get some cool shit.
Yeah.
I see what I did, right? When I was at Goldsmiths, I
would get that from the people that can afford it.
Yeah, the big ones.
The big ones, yeah. But if it's something that you're putting on...
I was just all of a sudden thinking that actually you probably could get some cool... If you ask for it, you get it. When I was at Goldsmiths, they've got a magazine there. And if you think about all the different artsy kind of people, writing for uni magazine is quite a big position when at uni. Well, nothing I ever thought about, even give a fuck about. But I thought, let me apply for this. And when I apply for it, I want to say that I want to focus mainly on hip-hop.
Right.
Because the stuff in there's nothing like that.
Right.
So when I did it, and I think they were a bit intimidated, like, okay, we need to give you this position anyway because you're saying that it's not being filled. We're not doing anything like that.
Right.
But I took the job, but I flopped it because what I did is I just used the position to get loads of free shit. So I got a free keyboard from Korg. Right. I got Reason for free, like the computer. I just got loads of shit for free. But I ended up doing that and not doing my job. But anyway, I flopped it. But anyway, you can.
No, listen. I know. I used to manage a youth club for years, and I used to get tons of free stuff. But now, my philosophy and all the presenters coming on here, we all support each other. To run my station, I have to pay rent for here. The presenters have to pay rent to do their show. We get adverts; they have to pay. So we just keep It's about keeping the money flowing between us. Someone does a book, we buy it. I want presenters on my show to buy it. I've got 20-something presenters. I want them to buy your book. That's how...
It's keeping the money in your community.
This is what I'm saying. So you know that when you're doing the show, you've then got a guaranteed lot of people that you know. 400 tickets. You know the people that you've been supporting. 400 people sold out. That's you. Done. Boom. Instead of having to... give Colin a free ticket, give this one a free ticket. That's 50 tickets gone. Yeah. So I think we're almost right. So in regards to your show now, I just wanted people to talk a bit more about your show because we're going to kind of wrap up now. But I want to talk about your show and just again remind people of where the show is.
High Rise a State of Mind. It's on the Camden People's Theatre, which is by Warren Street Station. It's a it's a beatbox hip hop theatre show. You could also say grime. We rap at different tempos, but we also got drama in there. It's set in a high rise, and we're talking about class. We're talking about society right now. And it's sick. We developed it at the Barbican as well. So we developed it partly at the Barbican and at CPT.
What's CPT?
It's Camden People's Theatre.
Right. Yeah.
And we want to after these 2 days, we want to do the full run of the show through 3 week off West End run and then tour the show.
Wicked.
And then maybe do some workshops and other things. But we want to get the show out there. And big up Lakeisha Lynch Stevens and Gambit Ace. We've got spoken word artists. And a rapper, they're also like established artists in the game. So, but it's still what we're doing is still quite, we're taking rap and beatbox and stuff into spaces where it usually wouldn't be accepted in this way, or looked at in a critical way.
Yeah.
But also we want to go to youth centres and council estate stuff because actually it's also a piece of theatre. So we're also taking it back and also presenting it in a way that people aren't used to seeing it as, hey, listen, you're a rapper, you're a spitter, you're a beatboxer, but you can do what you're doing, and it's a form of high art. There's money in this, but not only that, this can also be your career. Don't let certain demographics jump on what you've been doing and then run with it. Right. You should be doing it. We should be doing it. Yeah. And I think that's what often happens. And I think it's about, I'm on the board at CBT. I'm on a subcommittee. I'm on a few different boards. I've got 3 degrees. I'm a teacher. I'm not teaching now, but you see me dressed now like you see me dressed normally, right? And the root part of that is ideological. It's to say to other people that look like me or whatever, yo, brother, you can look like me and do what you're doing. Because if I try and be next dude, I'm going to fail at that. I can really try and talk a certain way and dress a certain way, but I'm going to fail at that, man. Right. Do you know what? I'm a short, stocky, fucking 5'8" guy from a council estate in South London, half Indian. I can't be Adam, 6 foot, blonde guy, speaking really well, rare. So it's about saying to other people, you can do this, and what you're doing is an art form, and you're intelligent and smart, and you haven't got to change yourself. When we try and run their game, we fail at it very badly. That's what I believe. We fail at their game. Because it's hard, and because there's traps in there, and there's lots of tricks in there. Right. But if we play our own game, and do it for ourselves, then it's okay to collaborate with other people and other organisations and whatever. But that's kind of part of the whole ideology of what we're doing. And beats and elements is because we bring beats and there's elements, the elements of hip hop, also elements of theatre and all sorts of things. Specifically with the theatre stuff, is putting ourselves on stage and characters that are based on people that we know, right? And weirdly enough, in London, that's still quite a radical thing to do. Speaking in the way we speak, using the dialect and slang that we use, right? And putting that on stage, and in the way we know how to do it, which is beatboxing, which is rapping, and using the dialects that we speak in. And that's still quite a radical thing to do. If we went and wrote a period drama piece, right, it's going to get criticised. It's probably not going to be very good. And we'll be shit. Yeah. But I tell you, but you will go to the National, or you'll go to see these big theatres, and there'll be a show. I saw a show set in a care home, bro. I might have even told you this. No. And in the show, it's like, yo, wagwan, my blood. Yeah. Yes, my brother. And people are like, it's so real. It's so real. And it's like, this shit is fake, and it's offensive as well. Right. Fucking offensive. So we need to be making these shows, innit, and writing parts for people that like us, and also, like I said, putting ourselves in these shows and saying, yo, like, we're out there, do you know what I mean? Like, we are artists, our bodies should be on stage, our voices should be on stage. Absolutely. These sorts of views should be heard and reviewed in certain publications. And rapping is a form of art, and grime is a form of art, and like everything else. Yeah, and showing all shades of it as well. Like showing, not with working class people that get put on stage, they're either often villains, or they're really, really like humanitarian types. So it's putting characters on stage with all your blemishes, all your good parts, light and shade, all of that stuff, right? Okay, well, I want to say right now that in regards to, I will say this to you live on air, that we want to
we've got presenters here that would love that when you're doing something, we've got the facilities to broadcast live. That's what we did with Fonts.
Okay.
And that's what we're trying to do with John Z, as you know.
Yeah,
and we want to do it with one of yours. So when you're doing one of your shows, we'd love to get someone to come down, even if it's me, and broadcast it live on air.
Or come down.
Yeah?
Come down.
So we'll arrange that. Anyway, we're going to round up because we've got Molera that's coming on from 2 p.m. We're going to wrap up now. And is there any big ups that you lot want to do? Any last...
Yeah, big up Getting Bit Ace, big up Lakeisha and Stevens, because we've been in the rehearsal studio for the last couple of weeks, intense. Big up the BAC Beatbox Academy, all you guys smashing it. Also, I've been in the rehearsal room with them for 10 years. Big up CPT, big CPT for supporting us and putting us on, and big up, BSC, big up Paul, big up myself, big up you, man. Big up EachTeach. Shout out to EachTeach Radio.
Big up to you guys. Big up us. I will never forget our first encounter.
Right, big up Conrad's live stream as well.
Yeah.
There's a few people on there.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thank you. This is Colin McDonald, EachTeach Radio. We've had Conrad, we've had Paul Curry, we've got his book here, and we've got his show that's going to be on next week. We're going to be talking about... Have you got a flyer?
No, I ain't got a flyer.
Well, send us a flyer, and I'll put that up here. So next up we've got Monica. That's from 2 p.m. till 4 p.m.
Shout out to Mona.
Yeah, she's going to be touching on the whole Stephen Lawrence story. That's going to be kind of deep. And then we've got from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. we've got JJ doing her Love Mechanic show. And then from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. we have Creative Alliance with Kai and the group. They're quite interesting because they're a whole drama group. There's 4 of them. Then from 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. we have Anthony doing his popcorn show. So we're out of here. We're going to play out with a last tune by Roots Maneuver again. Told you we're going to be having them up in the studio real soon. Big up to him. And also Mr. DJ Pogo, 1997 World DMC Champion. Anyway, peace, and we'll see you soon, people.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was cool, man.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. That was fun.
No, thank you, mate. Let me give you a joke, right, Monica? When I first met Conrad, right,